Lincoln Legends, Lore and Lagniappe presented by your Lincoln Parish Museum and Historical Society, celebrating 50 years of community support. Enjoy as our museum director, Rick Godley, takes the time to capture the stories of life in Lincoln Parish from the characters of Lincoln Parish. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rick Godley. I'm proudly wearing one of the latest t-shirts. It is Lincoln Parish Museum, Music, Musicians, and Memory. I stand next to this gentleman, J. Frosty Merriott, who came to town. Frosty gives back to Ruston, his childhood home. I will declare his age. He's a Bearcat grad from 1960. Is that correct?
65.
Oh, 65. Okay, why did I have 60 in my mind?
Because that's our 60th year. This.
Oh, that's where I got
60
confused.
60-year reunion will be this year.
Well, welcome home, my friend. Frosty Merriott has came to the Lincoln Parish Museum and has dropped off some of these incredible album collection for you to come and enjoy. Frosty, first of all, on behalf of the museum, on behalf of the community, and on behalf of whatever the future holds for this community, thank you for doing what you just did.
Oh, you're so welcome. It really felt good doing it. Carly and I talked about it, and we've been talking about it for about a year now to make this donation, and this seemed like a great time to piggyback on what you are doing with the reception and all, and trying to honor, and not trying to, but honoring North Louisiana music and Ruston specifically.
Well, you were here last night, and the display that is up, and whenever you do a community event, if the community doesn't respond, we have nothing to exhibit. We had the community respond. What's your takeaway from, you knew the rich musical heritage here of Lincoln Parish, but having seen what you've seen, in addition to what you brought, what was your takeaway? It
was a really, really good event, and it really, I saw lots of people that I hadn't seen in 30, 40 years. and I tried it somewhat in vain to get my 60-year reunion classmates to come, but at any rate, it was other than not having our 60-year reunion, which I was trying to hope to get going, but didn't happen. But the community did turn out, met lots of folks. I enjoyed a meeting. I really enjoyed our tour of the house and the history and all. It's very nice things I didn't know about how Ruston became Ruston, and Lincoln Parish and became Lincoln Parish. So it was and I love history, and I really did want to give back because Ruston meant so much to me and my parents, because my dad and mom both finished at Louisiana Tech as I did, and my grandmother finished in 1908 at Louisiana Tech. Wow. So and our daughter, both my daughters went to Louisiana Tech, so we're keeping that good hometown, small town feel to the family.
Well, and even though your 60th didn't show up en masse, you managed to pull some people out of Mississippi. You managed to pull people from Shreveport. So the J. Frosty Merriott. First question: is Frosty a nickname or is that a real name?
Well, so my real name is John Frost Merriott.
John Frost. Okay.
And so my mom called me Frosty, except when she was mad, and then it was John Frost. And I didn't want to be called John Frost. It was a stigma that I knew whenever I might be asked to go get a switch out of the yard if I was being called John Frost. So at any rate, so that's Frosty stuck through the years.
Well, I would imagine the mayhem that may happen when you go to a Wendy's and said, "We have a Frosty for Frosty," and people are going, anyway. But have you ever had that problem?
I have heard. I used to get Frosties in Colorado and Basalt, and so I'd order a Frosty for a snack in the afternoon, and so it has come up.
All right. So you've been to a plethora, big word alert, of concerts, and this is only just scratching the surface, I would surmise, of the album collection, of the concerts that you have been, and then you have somehow began your life quest to get the autographs of the albums of the concerts that you have seen. How many more concerts do you think you've seen, guesstimate, over and above what we have here?
Oh, some of these folks I've been blessed to see multiple times. I probably saw Buffett 10 or 12 times. I think Carly and I were Parrot heads, but probably another 25 or 30 that I don't have the autographed albums to. And what I started I saved all my concert tickets from the first one I went to was the Love and Spoonful with my good friend Tully Hall when I was at Tech in 1967. And then my next one was in 1968 with Daniel Gilbert, who I was later a roommate with, and which inspired me to my love of music because of being around Daniel, being such good friends over the years. So I kept all these ticket stubs, and then one day I realized, hey, you know, I could start getting autographed albums to frame with these ticket stubs. And so it took off from there and just turned into something I really never dreamed it would be, but it turned into a really nice collection.
It's a beautiful collection. Do you have top 5 concerts that you've said, or maybe a top 1? And that's an unfair question, but I like asking unfair questions. So which one of the, give me top 3 off the top of your head.
It's not really hard. The top one is pretty easy because I had a good friend and client in Aspen that the Eagles put on a benefit concert in Aspen, and it was in the Wheeler Opry House, which was the old Opry House from the late 1800s. It's been redone and stuff, but so the Eagles played there, and he bought a whole row as a charitable contribution, and so we were on the 3rd row back from right in front of Joe Walsh, and you could literally see the spittle come out of his mouth when he was singing. And the other thing that was so unique and fun about this concert was that when we were in the bar area before the concert, Carly elbowed me and she said, "Frosty, there's Jack Nicholson." And I looked over there, and he was big sunglasses, big grin, you know, moving through the crowd towards us. And she said, "What do I do?" And I say, just say, "Hello, Jack." And so he got there, and Carly said, "Hello, Jack." And he said, "How you doing tonight, darling?" And Carly said her knees, both knees went weak. But that big smile, and oh, it was so, and then we turned out, we were literally sitting right in front of him at the concert. So, you know, got to say a few things later, but so that was one of the best ones. And I think when we saw John Denver at Lake Tahoe with an orchestra, and we had good seats for it, that was just a phenomenal concert to see him up close and personal with an orchestra. That was really probably top 3. The next one, you know, it's really a tough one. I'm going to glance around here a little bit, but I guess probably in the outlaw music era in Houston when I was living there, Willie and Waylon were so big, and so we got to see them so many times. They played 2 straight New Year's Eves at what is now a mega church. Joel Osteen. Osteen's mega church was the venue for Willie and Waylon on New Year's Eve, 2 years running. So those concerts were really a lot of fun.
It's funny how you say when Waylon and Willie were really big, but was it you last night saying that Waylon only is about this tall?
And it wasn't me, but he is not a real big man.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that, the former cricket. I'll give you one quick Joe Walsh story, and this is something else about it's music, musicians, and memories, because everybody's got a memory. I mean, by you saying the Eagles right over our shoulder and Joe Walsh, I saw Joe Walsh open up for Peter Frampton in Asbury Park in 1976. And I'll never forget, what he was wearing, but for the encore, after Frampton was done, they came back out, Joe did, and they did Get Back. And he had a St. Louis Blues hockey jersey. I'm like, man, I want one of those. But that's the memory of music triggering here. Frosty Merriott, whom we're talking with. Frosty gives back to Ruston his childhood home and the passion of music. And so, man, is there anything else you want to say and let people know?
You know, I would be remiss, though, if I didn't mention that Jimmy Buffett has been I saw him first time in 1971 in a couple of 100-seat old movie theater with round tables and right in front, and that was the beginning of a long, long concert junkie, basically, of Jimmy Buffett. And his words, his lyrics are he's really one of the best songwriters, poetry, and that I know of. He's up there, but he made everybody have so much fun, and his concerts were just outlandish and outlandishly fun. And we took our daughter when she was probably 14, and she had a blast. So So that was, I want to mention him because he's taught me a lot about myself over the years. So I'd like to throw that in.
And we would be remiss if we didn't bring up Billy Green, because if it wasn't for Billy Green and his sisters, this 22-room Lincoln Parish Museum located at 609 North Vienna wouldn't be here. So it is, I want you to give your thoughts on Billy, because he's left a legacy in so many ways that so many people don't know about, and it deserves recognition.
It does, and Billy, if my memory serves me correctly, Billy was a senior at Ruston High School when I was a freshman, and we didn't become really good friends till I graduated high school, and we were in the same fraternity briefly. But Billy has been a dear friend over the years. He was with me when I got snake bit at the gravel pits. He was with me when we went to the Mardi Gras. We went to the Moons to have a beer, ended up at Mardi Gras one afternoon, have had a lot of fun times together. And of course the parties at Farmer Brown's were a whole nother story.
We may have to get a historical marker set up out there at Farmer Brown's. And by the way, for the sake of those people who are going to watch this in the future, he just said we went to Moon's for a beer and wound up at Mardi Gras. We're in the state of Louisiana. People think that everybody lives in New Orleans. Moon's is in Homer, Claiborne Parish. So it must have been the third or fourth beer, I don't know, but it said, let's go to Mardi Gras. That's 350 miles away. That's a solid 5-hour, maybe 6-hour drive.
Yeah, and Billy had that really nice Wildcat, in the Buick Wildcat in those days, and I don't remember who said Mardi Gras, but I think it was probably Billy. And we, Charlie Thompson and I, just said, heck yeah, let's do it. So off we went.
All right. Well, we'll continue those stories under the paid subscription. But no, Frosty, thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It was so much fun meeting you and being here last night and seeing all the history that in this house. It's very impressive.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Travel safe.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Good night.